Alright, how's it going, YouTube? I wanted to talk about my biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. And you may be making the same mistake right now, so I am trying to spread the word. That mistake was listening to too many people who don't know what they're talking about. And it sounds really cocky to tell people not to listen to anybody, but hear me out. First example right away. When we go into school, me and my trade particularly, in the automotive industry, usually what we're told is that we will make the money on grocery getters and the performance side of everything, the racing, the off-roading, the fun, all that stuff's really cool, really fun, and you should get into it, but on your own time in your own garage. And they say there's no money in it, and etc., etc. Well, frankly, look around you. Look around the automotive industry. Look around all the events. Look at my hoodie. There is money in it. Clearly, there's people who are living off of this stuff. So, just to say that is ridiculous in the first place. But also to say that to a bunch of developing kids is even worse. Especially when you should be telling people to reach for their wildest dreams. And, whatever you want for you is fine. But I don't think instructors should be shooting people down like that. And that brings me to my next point, and that's the fact that you shouldn't listen to naysayers, but you have to be able to figure out who is the naysayer and when they are naysaying. And a big thing about that is like, it's not like just your background hater or some critic who's whatever, like booing you in the hall or whatever. It's always the people who are in roles who are trying to be developmental to you, like teachers and parents and even friends and whoever. And they always try and either steer you away or just tell you, I don't think you can do that. And, you start to listen to them. And don't do that, especially if those people are people who haven't even attempted it themselves. And that's the huge mistake, because we did the same thing. We listened to that. We loved, and when I say we, I mean me and my friend and some others who are in the same boat as me. We love performance. We love racing. We love the fun, modification, all that stuff. We love that side of it. And, and because of that, we kind of closed our dreams down because we heard that a little. And I mean, we're a big believer in not listening to the naysayers in the first place. But it was just coming from such a superior role with such confidence that we listened. And the other problem is, like I said, a lot of these people, not only have they not done it, or maybe they tried and failed, but some of these people haven't even had the courage to try. So, wow, like that is the guy you don't want to listen to, is the guy who's too scared to even try. I mean, that guy really doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, seriously. And so that's a big mistake I've made. And the big example is when I was a kid, I really loved art. It became a hobby and just sort of a thing that's on the side and just kind of a part of me. But I never really took it any further because I was pretty much told that art doesn't make any money. But now, guess what? And that was in, like early 2000s. But now, guess what? What is the internet filled with? Photography, graphic design, writing. God damn it. Had I not listened to those people, I probably would be sitting in a much more comfortable career right now, perhaps doing something I enjoy more, etc., etc. It doesn't matter, I'm past it, but the point remains, I mean, that's the creativity side of it is really, side of anything, is really important to me. I need that in my life, and I feel like I've suppressed it a little bit, or I haven't dumped all my time and efforts into it, mainly because, it would just never become something I could necessarily make a career out of. Which, is my own fault for not believing in myself in that way in the first place. But you know, as a kid, I didn't have the motivation or the character that I do now. So, what am I supposed to do? I mean, we make all these choices when we're pretty young. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. The biggest mistakes when I look back are listening to people who don't know what they're talking about. I mean, how embarrassing must it be to be the teacher that said don't become an artist, in 2001. So, whatever.